Perfect Wisdom. With the divisions of the Abhisamilakra. Translated by EdwardConze 1904–1979. University of California Press, Berkeley, Los Angeles, London. Chapter 73. The Perfection of the Imperishable. Consummation of the marks and minor characteristics. The reunion with the dharma-body. The substantial body. The dharma-body. The enjoyment body. The work of the dharma-body by means of the transformation body, in general. Subhuti. How? O Lord! When all dharmas are like a dream. Non-entities. With non-existence for their own being and empty of own marks. Can there be a definite distinction between them? To the effect that these dharmas are wholesome and those unwholesome. These worldly and those supramundane, these with and those without outflows, these conditioned and those unconditioned, these conducive to the fruit of a streamwinner, 2. Those conducive to the supreme enlightenment. And so with regard to those dharmas which are like an echo. A reflected image. A magical illusion. A mirage. A magical creation. Which are nonentities. Have non-existence for own being and are empty of own marks. How can there be a definite distinction between them, to the effect that these dharmas are wholesome and those unwholesome, 2. Those are conducive to the supreme enlightenment? The Lord. Here, Subhuti, the foolish, untrained, common person apprehends the dream and apprehends him who sees it, 2. He apprehends the magical creation as well as him who sees it. As a result he brings about karma formations, by body, speech, or mind, which are wholesome, unwholesome, or immovable. In consequence the bodhisattva who courses in perfect wisdom demonstrates dharma to beings after he has stood in two kinds of emptiness, i.e. the absolute emptiness and the emptiness which is without beginning and end, and he says that empty is all this that belongs to the triple world. Therein there is no form, 2. No consciousness, no skandhas, elements, or sense fields. A dream is all this, an echo, 2. A magical creation. Therein there are no skandhas, elements or sense field. And also no dream or one who sees it, no echo or one who hears it, no reflected image, magical illusion, or mirage, and no one who sees them, no magical creation and no one who creates it. But all these dharmas are non-entities and have non-existence for own being. You therefore perceive skandhas, elements, and sense fields where there are none. In fact all these dharmas are due to conditioned co-production, they have originated from the perverted views, they have been taken hold of as the result of karma. How, then, is it that you become perceivers of entities with regard to dharmas which are non-entities? It is thus that the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, by his skill and means turns niggardly beings away from their niggardliness, and exhorts them to the perfection of giving. And to them the giving of gifts becomes conducive to great wealth. Having moved them away from this, he exhorts them to the perfection of morality, and their taking morality upon themselves becomes conducive to their being reborn in heaven. Having moved then away from this, he exhorts them to transic concentration which in its turn is conducive to their rebirth in the Brahma world. And he exhorts them to the various trances, from the first trance to the attainment of the station of neither perception nor non-perception. He then dissuades them in various ways from those inferior things, like giving, morality, and concentration, and from their fruits, and encourages them to win the realm of nirvana which leaves nothing behind, exhorts them to it and establishes them in it. He encourages and exhorts them to win the 4 applications of mindfulness, 2. The 18 special Buddha dharmas, and he disciplines and establishes them in them. With the help of these dharmas without outflows, immaterial, undefinable, and non-reacting he establishes in the fruit of a stream winner those who strive for the fruit of a stream winner, 2. He describes the path of enlightenment to those who strive for the supreme enlightenment, points it out to them, fills them with enthusiasm for it, encourages it, and establishes it. It is thus that a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, makes definite distinctions between dharmas, although they are all like a dream, non-entities, with non-existence for their own being and empty of own marks. Subhuti. It is wonderful and it is astonishing that the Bodhisattva, who courses in this deep perfection of wisdom, should when all dharmas have non-existence for own being, when they are absolutely empty and empty of both beginning and end, yet make a definite distinction between dharmas which are wholesome and unwholesome, too, which are conditioned and unconditioned. The Lord. So it is, Subhuti, so it is. It is indeed wonderful and astonishing of the Bodhisattvas that, when they course in this deep perfection of wisdom, they nevertheless make a definite distinction between dharmas. And when, Subhuti, you consider this wonderful and astonishing dharma of a Bodhisattva, you must admit that it is not easy for all you disciples and Pratyekabuddhas to repay the Bodhisattva for his favors. All of you cannot possibly surpass this dharma of a Bodhisattva. Subhuti. What, then, is this wonderful and astonishing dharma of a Bodhisattva which does not exist for all the disciples and Pratyekabuddhas? The Lord. Therefore, then, Subhuti, listen and attend well, I will explain this to you. Here the Bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, having stood in the 6 perfections born of karma result, in the 5 supernalds, 2. In the 18 special Buddha dharmas, and having travelled to the world systems in the 10 directions, helps beings with what they require, whether it be gifts, morality, 2. The concentration on emptiness, the signless, the wishless. Subhuti. How does the Bodhisattva help beings by giving? The Lord. Here the Bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, gives gifts, food to those in need of food, 2. Anything else that may be useful to human beings. And just as he gives to the Tathagata, so also to Pratyekabuddhas, Arhats, 2. Streamwinners, to those who are reborn in the right places of rebirth and to those who progress in the right direction, so he gives to humans and to those who are reborn as animals. To all he gives gifts after he has formed the notion of non-differentiation. And why? Because he has cognized all dharmas as being just one undifferentiatedness. Having given gifts without differentiating, he becomes the recipient of an undifferentiated dharma, i.e., the knowledge of all modes. But if a bodhisattva, when faced with a living being in the animal world who does not seem worthy of gifts, should produce a thought to the effect that a fully enlightened Buddha is worthy of my gifts, but not this animal, then he does not have the dharma of a bodhisattva. And why? Because the bodhisattva, who has raised his thought to enlightenment, has not set out for the supreme enlightenment with the reflection, these beings I should help with gifts, but not those. Helped by gifts they will be reborn in good families, and in due course they will, by means of the 3 vehicles, enter into the realm of nirvana which leaves nothing behind. If all people taken together should plan to kill the bodhisattva, his thought should remain unaltered, he should not think should I give to them or should I not. But with unshaken mind, he should resolve to give gifts to just those people. And why? Because for the sake of those very people he has set out towards full enlightenment. And if he should so discriminate, he will become an object of reproach to those Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Pratyekabuddhas, and Arhats, to those still in training and to the world with its gods, men and asuras, when he becomes at their request of all beings the shelter, the place of rest, the refuge, the final relief. Moreover, if humans and non-humans come to the Bodhisattva and plan to cut him up limb by limb, then he should not produce a dual thought, to the effect that I will give, or I will not give. And why? Because that Bodhisattva has taken hold of his bodily basis deliberately for the sake of beings, and with the intention that through his physical personality the welfare of beings should be worked. And he should produce a thought thus: may those people for whose sake I have appropriated this physical personality go away satisfied when they have received everything without having solicited for it. And it is thus that the Bodhisattva should train in perfect wisdom. Moreover, when the Bodhisattva is faced with a beggar, he should produce a thought thus: he who gives, he to whom he gives, what he gives, of all these dharmas the own being cannot be apprehended. And why? Because these dharmas are empty through their absolute emptiness. And emptiness does not give anything or take anything away. It is thus that the Bodhisattva should train in perfect wisdom, i.e. in the inward emptiness, 2. In the emptiness of own marks. When he has stood in this emptiness, then, wherever he gives gifts, the perfection of giving will constantly and always be fulfilled in him. And when he has fulfilled this perfection of giving, he will, when his inner and outer belongings are cut or broken off, produce the thought, there is nothing that cuts or breaks me. The functions of the dharma-body. The activity which appeases the places of rebirth. The activity which appeases the hells. Here, surveying the world with my Buddha eye, I have seen in